Hello, welcome to the Cars, Bars, and Guitars podcast, episode 87. I'm AJ.
And I'm Steve.
Steve, who are we brought to you today by?
Every Mitsubishi named Sport. Outback Sport, Outlander Sport.
Eclipse Sport, Cross?
Yeah. No. Okay,
Well,
not all the sports.
No,
Montero
not all the sports.
Sport.
Montero Sport, yes.
I definitely got Outlander and Outback mixed up. Whoops.
Outlander's better than the Uplander.
Also, yes.
Steve, we have Mr. Jerel Vestal with us.
Howdy.
Thank you for joining us. You are our first new guest we've had in a while. We've had a lot of repeat guests, but we haven't had a new guest in a while, so
There you go.
you're that. So we're glad you're here. We're going to have some good times, good beers, and good stuff that you brought, too.
Good times, great oldies.
Prepare yourself.
I plan on it. All right. You know the rules, and so do I. 1, 2, 3. Gerald's the only one that peeked it out. The new guy.
I'm just glad I'm not wearing my beer.
Sláinte.
Ka-tink,
Cheers.
ka-tink,
Yeah,
ka-tink.
good enough.
Post.
Oh, my goodness. So, Gerald, what are you drinking?
A little Birdsong Rewind Lager.
All righty.
Quite tasty.
ABV? Give us the deets, man.
She's actually light. 4%. Make a hell of a late beer, though.
It would be. Or a good outdoor, like sitting at the pool or something.
A session
yes.
without being a session.
Correct. Steve, what do you got?
Lidl's Comper Compass Amber Ale, weighing it at 5.1.
Very nice. Steve's all about the cheap beers.
It frankly has, yeah. He's not wrong.
No lies.
Yeah.
It's all good. I am drinking
Balling on a budget.
Yes.
See also Mondays.
Yeah, your dad's name, Balling on Budget, Bob. I'm drinking Southern Tier Nitro Coconut Truffle Imperial Milk Stout.
Dear.
12% to 10%. 10% sea salt, dark chocolate, coconut.
It's so delicious it makes you bad at math.
Yeah.
And talking. Well, we're glad to have you, Gerald.
Appreciate it.
Before we get started with the news, there's a thing we like to do with every new guest we have, and we go through your car history.
Oh, Lord.
From start to finish. All right, so when we go through your car history, it has to be a car not necessarily that was in your name, but was predominantly like you were the driver. So like when you were 16 and had a car, you
Yes.
probably weren't on your own insurance, but if you were, that's pretty cool too. And, but yeah,
Sounds
just
expensive.
car that was predominantly your car to drive and start from the beginning and go to now.
Are you prepared?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I learned on an 87 Ford Ranger with a 4-banger and stick, an 87 240 Volvo 240 GLE, also a stick with a push-button fifth.
Oh,
I
nice.
was curious how that worked.
I had a 1983 4-door Civic carbureted. I had an 1989 Acura Legend coupe, which was fantastic.
Keep going.
Oop.
You keep going. It kept hitting. The
I
kept
got you.
hitting the table, and it kept making this noise. Did you hear it too? All right,
It's
yeah,
the
go ahead.
percussion in my voice.
It is. And
1990 Camry V6, which I beat a BMW 325.
so out of these,
All of
cars-
these were sticks.
okay. Good. I was just about to go there because Steve and I we teach the class on how to be manual elitist.
Well, actually,
jerks.
Acura was not, but that's a luxury car. So
Yeah. Well,
Technically.
Either way, you would win Radwood with that.
yeah. After that, let's see. I wrecked the Legend, replaced it with. I think that was my 94 3000 GT.
the SL.
Yep,
What color was that one?
it is pearl white.
Okay. Yeah.
One
yeah.
of my favorites.
I vaguely remember that car, but
yeah.
because did it come stock with those 3-spoke wheels or?
No, it had like 6 spokes. They're small. They're like 15. They're 16s.
Yeah.
But
I'm having a hard time playing. The only ones I really remember are those 3 spokes that had the twisty.
that's the
Well, those
third
are-
gen 97 to 99.
Okay, yeah, or the
Yeah, they
gigantic-
were a twisty 3-ish spoke.
I don't know. I don't really like 3-spoke wheels though.
I hate 3-spoke
Yeah,
wheels.
Mark and I went back and forth. He loves the Viper, the stock Viper wheels, the original. I was like, dude, those are fucking hideous. I mean, I know they're cool. They're cool because of what it is, but I wouldn't. That'd be the first thing I took off of.
Mark's weird. It's okay.
That said, his imaginary BMW Z4 Coupes is going for a lot of money nowadays.
Yes, it is.
If he would have got one, he could have sold that thing for a pretty. Although I wouldn't have wrecked my S2 my S2K, it might have gone for a little bit more. But I almost got a CR before I got mine. And if I would have gotten that and then sold it, I would have been really looking for a toy instead of bought the Wrangler. But do continue after the Pearl White VR4, which was a stick also, right?
SL. Yeah, that was a 5-speed. After that, I moved to a 96 Civic hatch. That was an auto. That was because I replaced the transmission twice. The diff pin blew out a chunk in the transmission after I spent $1,300 to rebuild it.
Jesus.
So I had no money.
So how much was the car?
I dropped $2,000 on the Civic.
Okay, that's reasonable.
It got me through. After that, I picked up the VR4, 1995, 80,000 miles, black.
Was the SL the two-wheel drive variety?
Yeah, front-wheel
Okay.
drive, 220 horse.
Non-turbo.
3-liter V6.
Okay.
But to people who didn't know cars, it was still a damn good looking car. Like it looked, other than the badges and the wheels, like I kind of struggle to
It's
tell.
still a badass looking car.
Yeah. Is there any other cosmetic differences other than the wheels and the badging?
Active Aero,
Okay.
front dam, rear spoiler. The badging really is it.
I was going to say but nowadays they make sure it's all but.
Yeah,
Back
there's
then
a big
it was,
difference.
Yeah, back then nobody gave a shit. I mean, your base Corvette looked just like a ZR1, and and that kind of was the same thing up until the C7. Actually, you just see one go by, you're like, oh, it's a Corvette. Don't know
Like,
which
wait
one
a
it
minute,
is.
it might have an extra scoop.
Yeah.
So, 95 VR4, which I still have. Then I sold the Civic and got a 1998 Camry 4-banger auto because I had a horrible commute to South Charlotte every day. Hour round trip.
That was
Or
the
no, 2-hour round trip.
beige-ish.
Yeah, ugly. Like
That-
gold, turd,
Yeah.
whatever color.
Colin's still rocking Gordon's 2000 Camry. It's got 500,000 mile or no $250,000 on it.
You said-
Of the stick Camry.
What year?
I think a 2000.
Same,
I like the
same model.
I like
Yeah.
those. I like that body style. And then the one
It-
right
it
after
made
that
it was-
is so ugly.
I don't know if
I
you
always thought that like 97 to 01 Camry looked like a better Ford Tempo.
Yes,
Especially
I
the
can
taillights.
see that, like a Japanese Tempo. That makes sense.
Actually, what it reminded me a lot of was a little skinnier version of the second gen Intrepid, because it was just so bulbous, and the headlights were so big, and
Oh yeah, you mean
those
the
are rough.
O2s. Yeah, Dad's car.
yeah, that gen, and then the gen before that you had,
Yeah.
are nice looking cars.
The Maxima Camry.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. After Camry number.
Actually, first thing, have you guys noticed that Honda and Toyota always trade out who looks good for the Accord Camry?
That's fair.
Think about a early 2000s Accord at that time. Actually, good looking car, nice
But
body style.
Pop ups or not?
No, that'd be the late 80s.
Okay. Well, they got pop. They didn't get the fixed headlights until
90.
90?
It was 86 to 89 was the pop-ups.
I would have sworn
Yeah.
that was a 90 Accord, but I could be. I mean,
My
I had a
mom had
93.
one of the late 80s ones. I remember that as a kid.
Oh, okay. I had a 93 2-door, and it was sharp looking. The interior was nice.
Yeah.
But it was kind of beige on the outside too. Dark beige.
But like, look at the new Camry. New Camry looks amazing.
I like it. He
Lexus
doesn't.
styling,
He doesn't.
aggressive.
I like
and
it.
the new Accord is the doofiest turd I've ever
it's boring
seen.
looking. Like compared to what it had been prior to with the concurrent coupe that is now extinct.
But it's an
It has
interesting
made it
trend.
very
You can go all the
plain
way
looking.
through.
We need to delve into that. One's pretty, one's ugly. That just keep trading off. Let's see. I'm trying to. Yeah, my 93 Accord got stolen. They never found it.
That was a good looking body style.
It was the coupe. Had an aftermarket sunroof.
It was more aggressive than the Camry of the time because that was the precursor to the 98. They were, I don't know, less nicely
kind of
styled.
Batmobile. It was a very edgy looking car for the coupes.
But the interior on the Camry, like Steve's body style Camry, the earlier ones, I think the interior quality they wanted to make a little nicer.
Yeah.
So they didn't style the outside. And then when you got yours, they kind of were like, okay, let's put a decent interior in it, but let's make the outside look a little bit better.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's a give and take, I guess.
Just something to put out there.
They're going to sell they sell 800 million every year anyway, so it
No matter what.
it doesn't matter.
All right.
How many are we up to, by the way? Because nobody's broken mine and Steve's record. We each have had 11 cars.
I'm pretty close.
You're getting close.
Because now I'm at 12.
So,
Oh, that's right. He has 12 now.
Yeah.
well,
I haven't talked much about
I'll have to
that
go back
earlier.
through, but I guarantee I'm over that.
Yeah.
So
But,
I'm still going.
Was
So-
the 98 Camry the one that became your brother's car? Or that?
Yes, that's the one I sold to my brother.
Okay.
And then I picked up a 2002 Civic EX 4-door auto. I always get the cheap auto cars for commuting.
It's understandable.
So I had that, sold that
Appliancing.
to my brother-in-law, and then, first I got Honda Ridgeline 08.
That was first year, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, the one with the flying buttress.
Mm-hmm. I didn't hate it.
I like the way those look versus the newer ones.
I understand they are what they are, but they're actually phenomenal, especially for a DD.
Well, either that or I'm going to take a pile and a Sawzall, whatever.
Well,
Yeah.
For what most people, when they buy pickup trucks around here, especially, they don't use them as pickup trucks. So if you're gonna get one, the Ridgeline is gonna do everything you need a truck to do.
Yeah.
Because most people don't, unless you drive a work truck. I understand you might need something a little bit beefier, but for the most part, if you wanted a truck, a Ridgeline's going to be. It drives like a big ass lifted Accord.
Yeah, it towed the boat just fine.
Yeah.
I put massive shit. I had stuff hanging out 6 feet out of the tailgate.
How big was the bed?
worked.
Was it 5 foot?
It is just under a 4x8. Like you
Okay.
can't fit a sheet of plywood in because it had arches.
Right.
They fixed that in the next one. But
I got you.
But interesting note, they had
Ropes are cheap.
they had oil control ring failures on like the 09s to 12s maybe.
Mm-hmm.
My 08 at 101,000 miles popped an oil control ring.
Yeesh.
So engine gone. That necessitated the upgrade to the 17 Pilot.
Uh-huh. Which you need because you are with children.
Yes, the Ridgeline, it was fine for one, but you can't fit 2 car seats in there. It's not possible. Or not comfortably, because I have to sit back.
No, if you're 6 foot something self.
Yes.
Yeah, you're not the tallest person on the podcast, but you might be the second tallest. Mac is definitely the tallest. Mac's humongous.
Oh, yeah.
So after Pilot,
Okay, then I sold the Civic, and I picked up the 2012 TSX tech package.
and that's a pretty car.
I love it.
I wish they would have made them in the new ones in stick, but it is what it is. Like, I mean, I had loved my 08. Like that was the lines on that are just so clean and pretty. I just didn't like the wood trim on the inside. Like,
Yeah, when Jason had his 06, he specifically wanted one without wood, so he had the silver with the black and what was it?
it was like a dark.
Like maybe a carbon interior, just black.
I want to say it was
trim
dark
piece interior,
titanium-ish color,
and then
Mine still has that.
really,
Yeah.
and they replaced
lighter,
that,
but-
and they replaced that with a 2019 Mazda 3 hatch,
which is
Yeah,
a damn good looking. Mazda does
blind
I like
spots and
Mazda
all.
I can't do the smiley front bumper.
It can be a little aggressive on some models.
The 2010 Mazda 3 I found particularly Joker grinny. I didn't like those.
But it
Yeah.
would move. Emily's brother had one before he got married, a 2010 Mazda Speed, and that thing would.
Oh, they're quick.
yeah,
Don't get me
dude,
wrong.
the styling
Yeah.
by Narwhal is pretty awful.
Whoa! It says live video has ended. It better not have ended. I didn't press end on that fucking thing.
It was a ghost.
Maybe cannot continue live video. Something failed. Well,
What the zuck?
yeah, fuck you, Zuckerberg. Don't kick us off, man.
No, just cursed Spike's co-host and said, "Fuck you, Zuckerman."
Well, we're back live again. I don't know what happened
Yeah.
there, but it's all good. We got Jerel's entire car history. So,
As epic as it is.
that was. I think that was more
That's
than.
quite storied.
So this is the first time somebody stumped the chumps. I borrowed that from Car Talk. Did you listen to Car Talk on NPR?
Yes.
That was that was Steve got me into that because that was his gateway.
I have to
into
thank
NPR.
I have to thank Mark on that one. I'd never heard of him.
Dad's a big NPR junkie, so it was always that playing Saturday mornings. And it got strange once regular airings ended that they had a huge backlog of old material, so it just kept getting older and older. It's like, nobody's calling in about an 83 Aries.
Tim is.
Yes.
Do you remember that? My name's Tim, and I have an Aries.
Oh.
It was an 88, gosh.
Oh, that was an old. That wasn't Fortune. That was College Humor, or
it was something
been.
that predated YouTube,
fuck.
but I couldn't tell you from where it hailed.
We're
But
old.
of course, it now lives on YouTube. But YouTube's only been around 15 years now, guys. Huh? Get off my lawn.
No comment.
Yep. So that's the first time. But you clearly have a preference on your Japanese vehicles.
Yeah, very obvious.
I do too, but you know what? I do like myself some Jeep stuff. Like if you just do away with some of the owners, it's kind of like every other car. Like the owners kind of ruin a lot of cars.
Yeah.
And
Hello, Mustang owners.
I know.
I can't wait for the GR Corolla to become a thing and what dickheads are going to surround that one.
And I know that, I know it shouldn't be like that because I don't really care what anybody thinks of me. But the thing is, when I see a Wrangler with angry eyes, I'm like, I'm probably not going to get along with that guy. As anybody else would probably think that too. Or when you see, or we were talking about that one time about exotics. If you see a guy in a Ferrari, you're like, man, that guy's probably a douche nozzle. But if a guy goes by in like a V8 Vantage with a nice exhaust, you're like, that guy's probably all right.
He's got taste. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yep.
it's very different. Like I'm glad you see it our way.
Hey,
Right.
do you know how you can save money on an expensive car? You have to use an F-350 fuel pump instead, man. Huh?
Yeah, that's so funny. Or the fact that the Evoras have the capability for the auto folding mirrors if you press the button. So they have the mirrors, but Lotus just didn't bother taking them out of the motors out of the American spec cars. So if you just get the button, you have auto folding mirrors.
Wait,
God.
does that mean the mirrors and hey, one of the neat touches that New Corolla has or the Scion, the power mirrors work in their entirety. So I have mirror blinkers and I have power mirrors and I have the auto fold capacity.
I'm not glad you got T-boned by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm so much happier that the car you bought now actually everything works.
It's much cleaner, too.
It's a lot cleaner, and
Yeah.
it's everything works in it.
Yeah.
He didn't have to take that.
I didn't have to replace the glove box because of a broken latch, and I had to replace the mirrors because they were falling out.
Gas tank.
Yeah, the gas tank was a very unwelcome surprise a month into that one.
Ooh.
Somebody
Yeah.
hit the fuck out of that rear end and
Yeah.
shifted the tank, and they fixed it.
It was
The filler neck was off?
yeah, the filler neck was off. Like it had a clean Carfax.
Yeah,
but the mileage on this
You
one
know how that
varied
goes.
greatly. There were reasons that was an $8,000 car a year ago instead of a $12,000 car, and I found a few of them.
You know that happened to my VR4. It apparently got tagged in the back left corner.
The black one.
Yeah, and there's a little corner cap that sits under the spoiler, and it's just pot metal, and it was off, and I was like, what the hell? So I took it apart, and the tab was actually broken that holds it.
Have you seen that commercial?
So it
You're
had
not
been
supposed
tagged at some point, you could tell, but it was very minor.
Yeah.
Well, you've seen the commercials. You're not supposed to smoke metal. Wrong
You
type.
sure?
My Starion had was hit in the front, and when you looked at the rad support on the top, this side was smooth, kind of bacony.
Crinkle.
But all the gaps fit. Like they didn't really care about that. Whoever fixed it was like, let's just make sure everything on the outside of the car fits perfectly, and then who gives a shit? What
I
the
mean,
radiator
for
is?
that, that's all that matters.
Yeah, no,
Close enough.
Yeah,
You can fix panel gaps.
I miss the rarity. I don't miss I need a part for this.
The burgeoning
Yeah.
unobtainium of that car
Oh my God.
was getting difficult, and that's now been
Oh, it's even worse now.
10 years ago.
Now he's in the spot I was in.
Yeah.
10
yeah.
years ago.
Yeah, the vintage Mitsubishi.
I just dropped $2,000 on another 6-speed just to have a spare. It's awful, but they're only going to go up. So
and you can't have as much fun for what you've paid in it now. Like you'd have to you'd have to spend a lot of money to have that much fun.
Yeah, like
in a modern car.
Your next nearest thing would be like one of the last of the Evos.
If I upgrade, I'll get
bonkers
like
money.
a C7 Stingray. Or
I
something.
love C7. I was thinking about those before I just sold both cars. But
Yeah.
I love the way C7 looks.
I
The
wouldn't
white,
mind. I wouldn't
Pure
mind.
sex.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind the C7, but I'd have to Safari it. Like I'm too old to get in and out of that car regularly.
Hey, you're only all right, Jerel. You're 36.
37.
You're
going on
37, and you're
38.
39, and I'm 35. So we're all 2 years.
There you go.
Two.
I'm the
but
middle
just
child.
it's
You're Jan Brady.
Jan.
Marsha.
Wait, so I'm a little bitchy little snitch. That might be the tagline for this.
Maybe
Like
don't
that.
advertise that, even in jest.
Hey, I've advertised worse. So Gerald's brought us a little bit of something to have.
Oh my!
Well, first I thought it was going to be scotch.
No, I was gonna do that, but then I was like, I'd rather give you something you've never had.
For sure.
So this is a 6-year Galliang from the Jiangsu Yanghe distillery.
Neat. Well, I don't want to drink that. I don't want to drink that out of a out of a Glencairn glass. So I'm going to get like 2 other glasses that are
Hey,
more.
you're hating on it, but just wait.
No,
He wishes to have a more appropriate glass of tire, whatever.
I'm okay with that.
means.
yeah.
It's not a whiskey.
Well, you know what? If we're not having any more,
out.
we're not going to have any more bourbon today, probably, unless you want some, because I've got plenty downstairs. But
If I can get this thing out.
no, I'm gonna get the glasses.
Oh, here we go. All right.
Yeah,
Steve,
whereas
take
the
a gander. It's beautiful.
So which end do I stick in myself?
I would go with the smaller one, to be honest.
Okay.
It's fit for your pleasure.
Gentle people with face base, behold.
It's not a bad looking bottle.
That's quite attractive.
It would be a nice surprise. And you get a free butt plug with it.
That's the joke.
Oh, that's an awesome bottle. No, I just didn't want to pour whiskey.
Oh, you have great glasses, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to pour. Well, I got these. It says an A
Mm,
and an S. Fit $14 shipped each.
I like that.
You forgot the second S. All right.
I do need to get some of those, actually.
Oh yeah, they're all 14, but and you can get any letter, any style. So I got the Celtic style. I bought that's Steve's present for me for birthday. Whatever,
Some
A celebration
trigonometer.
of some sort.
Columbus
Yeah, that's
Day.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So did you inform everyone and me about that yet?
I showed the people on the face base.
They did.
How did your microphone tilt like that?
I got a little cockeyed.
A little cock-assed. I need to order another one of these.
I think that was the joke with the
Yeah.
bottle.
they're pretty great.
I think I have to draw one here, so it can be cockeyed too.
It's kind of phallic. It's a little phallic. Jimmy Phallic. Well, let's crack that fucking thing
Crack
open.
her open. Let's go.
Let's do this.
All
What's
right,
up?
you want to do the honors? Does he want to do the honors?
Hey, you don't pop another man's hood,
Oh my!
and
All right,
you
send
don't
her
pop
over.
another man's bottle.
If I can
Although
figure out how to open up this thing.
Steve, what do you want next? Do you want one of
Nope,
mine,
That seemed
or
to do the trick. Jeez.
I got some goods?
Does it make sure if I still hate Guddle Monkey?
All right. You want to pour
Well,
this
that's
up?
Max.
I mean, he's not here, so there's that.
You can have that, or I got those something Pines, the Highland Brewing IPA, like some kind of IPA at the bottom.
Now, I'll warn you, Galliang is a very special alcohol. It's a rice wine.
It smells good.
It smells good, but it burns.
Wait
I
a
think
minute.
it's
How
we're
far?
52%.
What, oh dear! How
It's stout.
far off is this from soju? Because I have
different.
distinct lack of memories from soju.
Yeah. Well,
I'll have
will-
distinct lack of
this-
So
memories.
as you say.
This is probably worse, to be honest.
AJ.
They get hammered on
last time
this.
around. After here, we're at the Mexican joint.
Oh yeah, tell Gerald about that.
I had zero recollection of having been to Taxco after this, the Mexican joint up the hill.
He slept in.
I like, yeah, Caitlin's out of town. So it's like, I slept in the car until about 3 a.m. and like, what the hell are these houses around me? Oh. Well, I slept it off, but it was a little odd, waking up not dead.
Yes.
So
you were transported.
I think
more mentally than...
that smells so weird.
It's like pleasant and then not at the same time. It's a weird combo.
Should we have a chaser on hand? Because Jerel has a chaser on hand. You and I don't have a chaser on hand.
Wait a minute. I've only got sip left.
So it's time for refills.
We'll refill after this. We
right.
die like men.
All right, so I got to tell you.
Yes.
So what they say is ganbei.
Ganbei?
Ganbei is cheers.
Ganbei.
Nice. Is that Cantonese?
No, Mandarin.
Mandarin, okay.
You ready?
Yep, let's do it.
Woo!
That is the single weirdest shit I think I've ever
Isn't
had.
it?
Oh, wow, there it goes down the old...
Yeah, you feel it move
Wow.
through.
That is so weird.
I chugged mine, so.
Oh, you did? I didn't, but I wanted to taste it first before I...
Oh, you get a full linger on the tongue.
That is very...
It's got a sweetness and like a plasticiness on the back end.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
There it is.
Yeah, it is.
Ooh. Oh, dear.
Wow, that's so strange.
I sat down with my or Stephanie's friend's dad, like in his factory, and he whips out a bottle of this shit. It was Tunnel 58 or 88, and that's like the percentage. They're strong. And he's just sitting there and pounding shots, and I'm trying to keep up. I'm like, dude, I can't do this.
Oh my god, that's aggressive. Like,
Yeah.
I like it for the novelty, but yeah, it kind of reminds me of this a little bit, except that's way stronger.
If that was thrice as strong.
What is that?
This is from Croatia.
Oh, I heard you talking about
It's
that.
35%, so it's a lot lower than this.
Let me see
one.
it. I want to smell it.
Everything. There's no smell. It's so old.
Oh, is it out?
There's nothing in there. There's no smell at all. But I
Very
do have my
weak.
travel bottles from 1965.
You told me about that. That's so awesome.
There you go.
Yeah, let me see
Check
that.
those out.
Wow.
That is probably the most interesting thing I've ever had. Steve, shoot it.
Prost.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Whoa.
Gone by, Felicia.
Woo!
Goodness.
And you burp it up, too. It's great.
Really? Well, Well, yeah, Steve had a chaser. I don't know what I'm getting next, but I'm going to get something next.
It's water now, so at least it's something.
Well,
So I did choose this rewind because I knew I was going to have that, and I'm driving, so I had to stay somewhat responsible.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, last up was very whiskey heavy. It's like, well, luckily didn't have to work or be anywhere. It was like, Kellen's out of town. That was fine.
Who wants what?
Surprised me.
Yep, same.
Well, I'll give y'all two the same thing that I've already had.
Come on, Steve. You got it.
Let's see here. I'm gonna go. Oh man. See, I never pace myself with this shit. I just like go for the gold.
That's how you get in trouble.
I live here.
Accurate.
Did you ever listen to Jurassic 5?
Ooh.
Got to stay golden.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, I have not seen this.
Back in my Raleigh days, I attempted to take a young lady to see Jurassic 5 without having planned ahead. So the show was sold out at Cat's Cradle.
Wow, that's the most interesting thing I've ever fucking had in my entire life. Like, bar none. I better not. I was gonna switch this hotcakes out with something else. Fuck it, I'll drink it. I'm not drinking any bourbon. I'm not drinking any bourbon.
Do you need your
tonight,
copper compass?
Yeah, since you're driving and it's a school night, like we need to try some bourbon. We need to have a bourbon night on the weekend.
I need to, yes.
Yeah, so,
but I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's why I brought it, because I was literally going through the scotch, and then I was like, this is just an experience. Like you won't have anything else like it. So.
And that's true. So I guess before we go into our car topics or music topics for today, we do the news. And so this is It's cars, bars, and guitars news. So let's do the news. He's self-fading. Guinness is releasing a nitro cold brew beer weighing in at 4% ABV.
Why?
A session
not, I
delicious.
For those who don't want to drink an all the way coffee at breakfast, I don't know.
I'll just add.
I
Bailey's
guess that's
to
a
coffee.
morning root beer.
I suppose, but I love cold brew coffee.
As do I.
So I'm sure it's good. Guinness. I don't think Guinness has put their name on something that's shitty. So
I can attest.
Unlike
to that. They haven't.
Unlike the alternative Newcastles, which were bizarre.
yeah, yeah. So the
They,
first
they
time,
could not be werewolf.
the first time Toby had Newcastle, he's like, "This should taste like buttermilk." But that was back when, when it was 2007, when I turned 21. You couldn't really get, the highest ABV you could get was, Molson Triple X at, 5.9%. That was before they...
Before they upped the limit.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, the
Yep.
Yes, sir.
the up to 15% ABV of
Newcastle
brews.
was my first not domestic crappy beer.
Yeah. I love where the craft beer thing's going.
back
I
when
love it.
Grant
Yeah.
and I lived together, Newcastle was on heavy rotation.
It's a solid beer still.
Newcastle. Do you remember those commercials?
Oh, yeah.
That's great. Well, next up, Brits are drinking more beer than brewers can handle, and it is severely limiting the supply chain in UK pubs.
Are you saying Brexit
Poor
was a bad
babies.
idea?
Yes, and yes.
Yes.
But you can go to the pub over there. From what I've never been to the UK, but they say a lot of them open pretty fucking early in the day too.
Well, apparently they close pretty early too. The schedule surrounding these is different than your noon to 2 possibility here.
Yeah, I don't think they stay open until 2. They probably close at midnight and probably open at 9 o'clock in the morning. Well, I guess when a football match is on, they probably open pretty
Oh,
fast.
You
they're
said
open.
soccer
Yeah.
awful funny.
This is hilarious, and I would have brought this up anyway, but it's just funny that Jerel's here. Larry Kudlow is mocked for claiming the Democratic climate policies would force Americans to drink plant-based beer. Need I remind this man that all beer is plant-based?
What about
That we know of.
What about your lactose-based sugars,
It may
man?
be some Soylent
That-
beer going on.
or,
know?
Soylent
beer is
or- All right, so you do have your lactose sugared beer. So all right, so that's milk sourced, and
True, that is animal.
I ain't burping that shit up.
speaking of Guinness,
I told you.
And until recently, Guinness, what made it black was fish bladders. That since has
Really?
been remedied, but
Yeah.
until maybe 5 years ago, that Guinness was not a vegan product.
I just assumed it was dark roasted malts.
It was.
I don't know what they did to change it, but it wasn't always a vegan friendly product.
I have to say, fish bladders are pretty tasty.
I think so too.
Yeah,
And McDonald's fries were not vegan.
yeah. What was it
Really?
No, they had beef
tallow?
Yeah, beef tallow. It was in the
Oil?
I think it was in the oil because really it's just potatoes, oil, and salt, so it had to
Right.
be in the oil. So yeah, it was a beef based product, and they
That's
don't
why
do
they
it.
were amazing.
They're so fucking
Yeah.
good.
Right?
I love
Well, they
McDonald's fries.
still are, but what can you do?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
think Arby's curly fries are obviously high up, but I think Five Guys is my favorite chain restaurant fries.
And Arby's always get the potato cakes. Is this
They're good.
hash browns available? After breakfast hours.
True.
I have to say the curly fries are
Your favorite?
probably my favorite, and then I'd put waffle fries from Chick-fil-A next.
Yeah.
Especially
Then I would
on
go
Sunday.
Five Guys.
What makes them good too is Chick-fil-A sauces are outstanding, and we sell the bottles of them.
Yes.
Chick-fil-A. I've already went through a bottle of Chick-fil-A sauce.
Yep.
And the Polynesian. They're so fucking good.
Dude, there's nothing better. Yeah.
You know what I want to do? I want to try to make a how they do
Burger.
a balsamic glaze on salmon and shit like that grill. I want to try that with the Polynesian sauce and see how that
You
turns
could.
out.
With the sugar content, I guarantee you could
That would be so good to have like
make
a
like a
crunchy
demi glaze.
sweet- Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, let's do this.
Agree.
All right, so I have not done this. I haven't done this yet, but I've been telling Steve about it for like at least a year now. I want to try to make chicken parmesan wings. So we'll bread them and deep fry them in just regular batter, but then the wing sauce will be a marinara and then like hot sauce blend, and then sprinkle Parmesan cheese all over the top. I think that would be really good.
Yes.
Chicken parm wings.
Little parsley garnish.
It would be so good. Like, I have a lot of ideas, but not a lot of motivation.
There you go.
But by the time you like work, like
You make Emily do it. That's what you do.
you've met her, right? She's lovely, but
yeah.
I didn't marry her for her cooking.
I haven't had the
prowess.
cooking, so I can't comment.
Neither is he.
She's cooked dinner thrice in 11 years, and you know what? Every time it was absolutely it was good. It wasn't life changing, but it was a good dinner. She
What
just
style, though?
Asian, like low
As she
main.
should.
Yeah,
There you go.
And it was good. She just has no confidence in her cooking,
Yeah.
so she'll make something. She's like, I should have done that. I was like, it's good, honey. Like if you don't ever do it, you're never going to have
Yeah, it's
confidence.
practice.
Yeah. I mean, when I first started playing music, I just stood up on that stage and ate dicks all the time. Like, you're gonna do that.
I'm learning. Yes.
Yeah.
Where the hell are you playing?
Scorpios.
There's flopping everywhere.
It's never ladies' night. That's actually the.
Well, the mushroom stamps wore off, so you're fine.
Fat Tire is releasing a beer called Torched Earth Ale, and according to taste testers, it is terrible. The company says it's terrible on purpose because it's trying to make a point about over-farming in a changing climate. Fat Tire is making these with low-quality ingredients, including hop extracts and dandelions, things the beer makers say that they have to maybe use someday if the environment changes enough to limit production.
I thought they were already doing this with sours.
So you're saying I might not hate this one because as I'm pushing 40, my tastes have changed.
Yes.
Well, not everything gets better with age, Steve. I don't like sour beer.
I don't either. I hate it.
You know,
It's skunked beer on purpose.
Yeah. What do you
I'll
do with
pass.
sour milk? Throw it away.
Buttermilk.
Well, you can make biscuits with it. I've never tried to make biscuits with a sour ale.
Ugh. No.
Carbonated Biscuits. That's a great band name.
It is.
I'd see that.
Yes. We're just full of taglines.
We're full of it.
Well, according to the New Scientist, 1 pint of beer, regular, not nitro beer, contains approximately 2 million bubbles.
Interesting they can quantify.
I don't know how you. I don't know how you quantify that.
Instrumentation.
Calculations.
Yeah, it's like you take like one sample of it and
Or
Pi r
you-
squared, baby.
Or you
It is.
send the pint through a tube, and it's able to register every time the lights, the liquid versus air is going through.
Maybe they're using a bubble penetrating radar.
Even
the
better.
old BPR.
right.
Yes.
Well,
Not to be confused with PBR.
I've heard the coffee's actually not bad.
I still haven't found the PBR IPA.
Dude, I would try that.
I would too.
I've had my fair share of PBR.
For shits and giggles, I always picked up the coffee PBR beer.
You should have.
Yes.
I didn't know where to find it.
This is the layer of experimentation. Even
Yeah, I'm
when you
down.
guys aren't here. Anyway.
Maybe
I
I
was
should
thinking
sanitize myself.
L-A-I-E-R. Oh.
This is not where the magic happens because there is no magic.
Except for the saucers. I just noticed, and that's epic. I'm jealous.
I think my favorite one on there is number 3.
I like IB and Frank at hide and seek.
Number 3 is my favorite. No, the green one.
There you go.
But they're all pretty
my
good.
favorite one's the Stephen Wrightism. I'm against picketing, but don't know how to show it.
Well, number 2 was a Stephen Wright also. 2 horses in a man costume. It's just funny to picture. My number 10 now is What Would Jesus Do for a Klondike Bar? I just finished number 11. I don't know what I'm going to get.
I know exactly what
box
I'm
of
doing
chocolates?
for,
Maybe.
what was it, 15?
Heyo.
Did you see the story behind this?
No.
We did a podcast a month ago.
I missed that one.
At Pour 64, the tap room right here in Mint Hill, which is fucking cool as hell. And some of the regulars were Dale and Sandy. If you're listening, they do listen to this. Suckers. They got a bunch of cardboard cutouts of our faces, and while we were doing the show, they handed them out to everybody, and everybody turned around and had our face.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It was great. It was touching and very strange. But now we have cardboard cutouts of each other.
Hello, Rod Serling.
did notice
How
those.
do you do? Wherever you are, man.
It was very touching. So now we have our effigies on our mic stands.
I like it. Gross.
Dream Theater guitarist John Petrucci is working with Iron Smoke Distillery on his first signature bourbon called Rock the Barrel. The bourbon is 120 proof and $200. Now, I'm not saying it's not good. Just
That's
if it's $200,
That's a lot for an unproven
You know
quantity.
what?
yes.
If I'm
And-
going to pop that bottle, he better have a solo sing out of it.
Yeah.
I pay for that.
I don't. There are
I don't believe I told you about my completely tasteless Dream Theater purchase years ago.
the September 11th release.
Yeah, which I bought, I think 6 years later.
Explain to
on
Gerald.
eBay.
Explain to Gerald
do
the
I know?
irony behind
The
this album cover.
the live scenes from New York from Dream Theater was released September 11th, 2001, and the original artwork had New York City in flames. And
Wow.
those all got pulled from market the next day, so it
Yep.
got replaced with something way less entertaining. So a few years later, why yes, off of eBay, I picked up my very own copy, remaining sealed, of Live Scenes from New York by Dream Theater.
I'm actually impressed. I like that.
And what George Carlin's live album came out that same day, but then they pulled it,
I kind of like it when a lot of people die.
and they didn't release that.
Not
that's
until a couple years ago. It's like, yep, he sounds pissed off per always.
I saw him for my 16th birthday.
Oh, wow.
It was great. It
Yeah, I
was
bet.
so good. It
Yeah,
was so
all I got
funny.
around 16 was Gallagher. That theater smelled horrible.
Yeah.
All the watermelon you could smell.
I think it was more of the mustard mayo destruction.
Ugh.
he did a lot of.
Yeah, glad we went for the upper balcony on that one. So it wasn't the entire experience, but disgusting nonetheless.
So there needs to be a nuclear Gallagher that just like everybody in the audience needs the plastic, even the people in the upper decks, where it just like really explodes.
Well, his brother
shit.
was his brother was doing the same thing as Gallagher 2. So the third is going to be Gallagher 3 at Mile Island.
Spicy.
I've been waiting since 1979 to make that joke.
Thanks, Smashing Pumpkins.
Yes.
Conor McGregor has now sold his majority stake in Proper Number 12 Irish whiskey to Proximo Spirits for $600 million.
Oof.
I don't know why you'd fight anymore. Like, that's it. You're done.
Yeah.
You never have to. Your kids' never have to work ever again.
Agreed.
So, sit down, stop being Irish, and shut up. Stop
And
picking
drink your
fight.
damn whiskey.
Drink whiskey and party.
Maybe don't
Yes.
stop being Irish.
Well,
Stop being a fighter,
Well,
perhaps.
being Irish is getting drunk and then beating people down. So,
Okay, so
I guess continue.
yeah, that's
yeah, but
that seems more better.
But go back. I don't know. Like, if somebody was like, "Hey, I want you sell me your act for $1 million, and you can never ever play live again," like, all right, so which one do you want me to box up first? Like, because you can make $1 million last the rest of your life.
Yeah, easily.
You could. You absolutely could.
Yeah.
First
But
step,
$600 million, like,
first step,
Yeah,
time
that's
machine.
fuck you money.
oh my God, it is.
Basically.
First step, time machine. Second step,
Hot tub.
buy a stock in either current company or previous company, the both of which have gone up tenfold.
Your previous company went up tenfold?
30 cents to $3.
Printing is the future.
Why?
It sure wasn't our branch of it because that site's going bye-bye.
Yeah, that's true. I had a weird. Sorry, I can only hear that because it's my body, but it made a weird noise.
I
Excellent.
heard
I
something.
saw the reaction.
I saw something also weird,
All
but
right. It's just the human body's kind of strange. Primus has stated when they return to touring at the end of this year, they will perform Rush's 1977 album, A Farewell to Kings, in its entirety at every live show.
Wow.
That's cool as fuck.
I'm down.
And if any band can do it, it would be Primus because they're a trio
I could hear
And wild.
and wild.
it's not going to sound like Getty, and
That's okay. Greg loves Rush. My brother Greg loves Rush, but he's even admitted he's like it's not the you don't listen to Rush for the vocals,
No, the amazing drums.
the drums, and the songwriting. And
Yeah.
You don't listen. It fits the music. Geddy Lee's voice fits the music. Just it's not my favorite vocalist of all time.
Correct.
Did I ever tell you about Metal, a Headbanger's Journey documentary?
Yes.
Where, hey, here's Geddy Lee popping in a lot, chiming in on stuff. Like,
Maybe not.
but
He can headbang.
prog rocker, yeah, he's
it's like
got-
Dave
he's got the hair
Mustaine, but
to-
worse.
Mother is always evil.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He would have been.
I'm now
Some of the best
imagining-
guitaring
wait a
ever,
minute.
though.
I'm now
Of course.
imagining Dave
Yeah.
Mustaine singing Free Will.
Well, he didn't want to sing, you know. He just,
Yeah.
he's like, well, nobody's going to do it, so I guess I got to do it.
How do you think I became a singer?
Right?
When we first started our band, I was like, "Who's going to sing?" They were like, "Well, let AJ can do it." I was like,
Actually, you're good, though. So
Well, thank you, but,
That,
like-
that's a happy coincidence.
Well, he's like, I was like, why do I have to do it? I was like, well, you look like one. I'm like, that's a pretty shit reson, but okay, let's do it.
it's like,
you-
I sport a fedora.
You still
That's
look
fair.
like Chris
There
Cornell
you
to
go.
me, so that's okay.
Fair, but also I took classically trained opera lessons 3 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I got better.
Excellent.
That's why I got a lot better. Now
Yeah.
the teacher started pissing me off after a little bit because there are certain elements of rock music and opera music that are different. So a lot of times, so what I'll do, he would always fuss
And
at
if
me.
you listen to King Diamond, you'll never know.
True. He would fuss at me for scooping up to a note,
Yeah.
and he always wanted me to. He's like, he's like, I'm going to play this note on the piano, and I want you to hit that note immediately. And sometimes I would scoop up to it, but that's like it's just a stylistic choice. Like a lot of the grunge singers would do that, so you would hear the
Eddie Vedder.
And that's totally what you're
Yeah,
it
steeped
would
in.
it's stylistic. So I'm glad I did it. I learned a lot, but after a little while, I took about 8 months, and I was like, you know what? I've learned enough that I can just not, because he kind of really pissed me off one time about like, we haven't learned anything. You learned anything? Like, but he's like 75 years old too, so like he was good, but
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to be talked to like this anymore. I think I've gotten out of I've gotten out of this all.
I
all
don't
I'm
have to
gonna
take
get.
this abuse from you. I can take this abuse from anyone.
Exactly. I'm married.
Yes.
The number one thing I got when he would say sing a C, and I would sing a C. He goes, sing the octave above, and I would do it. And he goes, why did you do it louder? He goes, I told you to do it higher, not louder. I went, huh,
All right.
okay. It's like, to go higher, I don't always have to go louder and straight. Like, you just you go higher. And the more you think about it, the more you'll fuck it up. It was. I learned a lot. I'm glad I did it. Just, I don't know if it turned out to be the best fit, but I did learn a lot.
Have you watched A Charismatic Voice?
She is so fucking hot.
Oh my god, dude! Yes. Well, I don't know. Since I started learning guitar, like I've just gone down these freaking rabbit holes, and it's just nonstop, and it's so awesome.
I turned him on
There's
a Beato.
so much. Yes. Oh,
Some of that shit's over my head, and I like to think I'm
Hey,
actually.
Gerald.
you're hurting my work productivity at this point.
Hey, Gerald. Who the hell's Lydia?
Lydian melody. Lydian.
I'm lost.
Phrygian.
Phrygian,
And he always
yeah.
keeps saying blee blee and blah blah. It's like it's a Lydian melody. He's like, Who the hell's Lydia?
Aeolian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The mayonnaise?
An aeolian.
Woo!
No, it's some of that
Sounds
shit goes
milky
over my
to
head.
me.
Like,
Yeah.
but the thing I've learned too is like, all right. So, did you watch the Tom Petty video of "Free Fallin'"? I'm not a big "Free Fallin' fan. That's
Are you
one
talking
of
about-
my least favorite
Yeah.
Tom Petty songs.
Don't
but like
come
when I
around
listen
here
to it,
no more.
everybody knows it's like dun 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 dun, and on that last dun, the two guitars and the bass are all playing different notes, and there's a really hard dissonance.
Yeah.
To a classically trained musician, you would go, well, that's not right. They need to change. But dissonance is emotion.
Yeah.
And
it's intentional.
It is intentional, and it sounds. You'll never be able to unhear it. And also the same kind of dissonance as in Jeremy. Jeremy spoke it, and that after class, and that there's a real hard dissonance where everybody plays something, but it catches your ear.
Yep.
Like,
It pulls you in.
it does pull you in. Like
Yeah, exactly.
perfection is boring. Musically, like if you
Yes and no.
if
It
you
depends.
quantize everything, like that's why I don't listen to neoclassical shred. Like people like Yngwie Malmsteen.
Yeah.
To me, it's just like okay,
I'm not a big
all right.
fan.
Oh, he
Or,
shredded.
or given your general disdain for Dream Theater, like Prague will drive you insane.
I like prog. I do like prog, but I don't want to nerd out about it. I don't want to be so. I don't want to like be thinking about it. Like I want to be like enjoying the show. Whether it's like, how the fuck did they play this time signature? Like I don't know. Dream Theater doesn't really do it for me because they're vocalists. I don't really like that much. James LeBray.
I agree.
I don't think it fit. Like, you haven't listened to much? Oh my god,
Satriani though.
Surfing with the Alien.
Yes.
There's a Periphery, progressive metal band.
No. I heard a little bit of that after Misha's been on TST
Uh-huh.
a few times, but
They're a progressive metal
not
band.
much.
And Carnival is progressive rock band. And I would say Mudvayne's actually a progressive metal band.
Fun thing about Mudvayne, they're regrouping. Years ago, a friend of mine was at the Charlotte Pfeiffer campus in business school, and near there is an apartment complex that had a bunch of German students that were attending the same program. Took one of said German students to see Mudvayne back in 2009.
Oh, wow.
He complained the show with Nonpoint wasn't heavy enough. Because this guy has been to Wacken a few times.
Yeah.
It's like,
What can you do, man?
Yeah, it's like, dude, it's like you got to make it there, man. It's like 40,000 people like going crazy,
Dude, it's a different world. Like the first time I went to Germany, and like I was flying out at like 5 a.m, and they're like, "Oh, we'll take you out to this underground bar, or not bar, but like you go through like this like Cold War like tunnel, and then you're underground, and they have a different stage with completely different music. You have like your disco music, your like metal, like death metal, and like reggae, and like each place you go to was different.
This sounds like the one of the dudes on Soundography that was playing at a 3-up bar where it was industrial on one floor, hip hop on one floor, rock on the other floor.
Yeah, like
bouncing
that.
between them. Like
They're built
How,
different.
what the huh?
It's
Like,
weird, but like
That's cool.
I almost missed my flight. I got back at like 4 a.m. and my flight was at 5.
oh, this is your return trip.
Yeah.
Oh,
like I got woken up at 5 o'clock and they're like, "You got to go. You're gonna miss your flight." I hadn't even packed. Dude, I was like 20, 21, 20, somewhere around there.
Have you met
It was
Stephanie yet?
05. No, before Stephanie.
Oh, wow. Was there a before? It's a BS. Instead of BC, it's BS. Gerald BS.
Yes,
Before
BS.
Stephanie.
You got B.
Those
you
were
got
dark
BK.
times.
Hey, before all of our SOs were dark times.
Mm-hmm.
Or I tell Emily's like, you're such an ass. Why did you do that? I told her I was texting her under the table. I was on a date with Ashley, the chick I was dating when I
Yes.
met her. But like I was like, I chose you. I don't know why you're like.
You won.
Yeah, you won. You're the gold. You're the gold medal. She was the silver medal.
Oh, Lord.
Well, third to last, Honda is ditching the internal combustion engine by 2040.
Wah, wah.
Well, we still got 19 years of good engines.
I'll take my Integra Type R, please.
Yeah.
No, but by the way,
Brand, yeah.
electric motors are supposed to spin more quickly than 9,000 RPM, right?
They are, but you don't get the sound. You don't get the noise, the vibration, the VTEC kicking in. You don't do that with an electric car, and
it's sad.
It is very sad. It's going to be one of those things where Monday through Friday you drive your electric car to work, and then on the weekend, guys like us and our dinosaurs like go out, and gas will be but it won't matter by then because you're only driving 2 days a month.
I barely drive my car anyway. Well, it's on jack stands again, so.
Did you ever see Looper?
No.
The weird time travel murder your future self movie.
I did.
And the
I
car
vaguely
that's
remember
a tricked out Miata in the future. Like that same concept exists in fiction.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm not selling.
Yeah, and
that's why I'm buying like an entire new car to keep it running.
Have you thought about just getting a whole?
That's the whole concept of the daily driver.
I live in the city. I don't have any room to put another car.
That's fair. Well, the garage has
garages.
The garage is
bad.
Half car, half stuff.
Yeah. Half tools and half car parts.
It's been a while since I've been there. It's like I don't think that's changed. I understand how garages work.
Am I the only one who is just never mind? I'm not normal. I'm actually not. I'm the opposite of. I'm completely abnormal in my organization. Like we're gonna. I'll show you the garage.
I'll put it this way: I will go through
tidy's
and
an
spend a
understatement.
day or two organizing.
Yeah.
And then about 2 weeks later, it will be a mess again, and I just repeat.
AJ,
over and
like
over again.
no, it's like my garage is out of control, but I'm actually like building spaces for the spiders to move into. So at least they're contained nicely,
like a Kowloon city for
building
spiders.
a habitat.
Yeah, that's it. It's
The Kowloon walled city in Hong Kong for spiders.
I've been there. It was wild.
I've seen the pic. Have you seen that before?
I have no idea what's going on here.
Oh.
Dude, these like
I thought that was my buddy that's in the
and they're
Navy that's now in San
The
Francisco.
rooms are tiny and they're like
San
on
Antonio.
top of each
It's
other.
so fun. Like it would have been fun to see. And like
I studied in Hong Kong.
Actually,
me and Stephanie went to see it.
Nice.
That specific area.
Actually, the only walled city I've been to was Rothenburg, which is made entirely of Christmas shops.
Christmas shops.
Which is really strange
deal
going
in
there.
Germany.
Like that was the quintessential Christmas in July, was seeing this bunch of bullshit in an entire city.
Yeah.
It's like,
The
wow, like who the fuck is buying all this crap?
This is the most cluttered room in the house.
Which isn't. So
I kind of think it is, but like all this is decorative. This stays. Like all this is like cool shit. Like here's
I didn't know you had a freaking power glove.
Yeah.
I like that.
and a buzz if you like the Hornets from their inaugural season.
Wow. Yes.
This
rubber band ball.
All rubber band to the core. There's no golf ball or baseball in it.
I like that.
How heavy is that, you think?
Oh. It's a good 20 pounds.
It's heavy.
Maybe 15.
Yeah,
it's got some weight to
it's
it, though.
It's fucking heavy, yeah. It's a lot heavier than you think. And yes, it does bounce.
Time to throw it off a BOA building.
When it gets bigger. That's 25 years in the making, so
Oof.
I don't want to break it. It'll break from that height.
Back when
Ethically,
valing at Dean DeLuca was still a thing, and 2, it still sucked. Met a guy who was putting the finishing touches on the B of A tower. Like, wouldn't you know, it gets quite brisk at the top when you're on the outside of the crown.
Yep.
Sounds super.
I can imagine.
Dean Kanan DeLuca. Moving on.
It's like,
That didn't
much
happen.
like you can see,
Erase.
well, much like from Kings Mountain, you can see the B of A tower.
Yeah.
Well, at the top of that, you can see Kings Mountain because that's like the bump in the landscape.
Shit,
Yeah.
you can see the entirety of down on Crowder's Mountain, like on a non-humid like fall day, like when I went hiking when I had COVID. You can see entirely downtown at like 11 o'clock in the morning. Like it's cool as fuck, actually.
Yeah, this is a reminder I need a better camera than my good camera that's now 5 years old and tired.
I was just using my phone. But you can still see it.
You don't have a 21x optical zoom on that, though.
Bless you. Lotus is replacing their full lineup of cars next year.
Sad face.
The Evora, the Elise, and the Exige are gone, and bringeth the Emira, Emira. It is going to be their last gasoline-powered model.
Wah, wah.
But it sounds good because there's two options. There's a 300 horsepower Turbo 4 or a 400 horsepower V6. But there will be no hybrid or plug-in version of that car. It will be the last
versus whatever
one.
batshit hybrid 2,000 horsepower thing they did.
Yes.
Everything starts with the E.
Is it?
I'm going to call it
Close. I don't remember the name of it, but it was
either.
But it was dynamite looking.
A couple of years ago, found a Lotus Elite for sale on Cracklist.
Oh, luckily?
Greensboro. Do you know what that looks like?
Vaguely.
A Miura with a hatchback.
Yeah.
It was a really strange looking car.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah. I'll pull it up. I'll pull it out. Elite. Your face is moving in the wind.
Yes.
Your face, not your actual face. That one?
Yeah, frame 2.
Let me see.
Oh, frame. Oh. That one.
Yep.
Actually, you know what it looks like?
Oh,
It looks like a shortened Espada.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what
Remember?
those are.
Yeah, it looks like a shortened Espada.
Dude, my buddy had one. One
Really?
of the
What?
Lotus, it's a mid-engine, and it's a fiberglass body. They're cool as shit.
You know what Espada is in Spanish?
No.
Spade.
Dude, did you ever
Shovel?
watch Bleach? The bad guys were the Espada.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never watched it before, but now I feel like
Great
I have to.
anime, by the way.
I've never watched anime.
Oh, you need to.
I
I watch more anime than I watch anything else. Like, I'm on a Star Trek kick right now, but anime is like where I go now.
I think I would rather watch anime than Star Trek. But I don't like sci-fi.
What if I told you there's a Star
on
Trek
now.
I
animated
don't.
series
I really
I
don't.
love sci-fi.
from Hanna-Barbera?
Emily loves sci-fi.
I used to watch sci-fi all the time.
I like documentary. I like to learn. I don't like science. I would rather like
Science
learn.
fiction has some or not fiction, but like
Keep going.
science in it, right?
I know what you mean, but like
Got some fiction in it.
I just
It's full of fiction.
I like
I
math
promise.
and I like history, which is weird because as a most musicians are like creative. Like most musicians like sci-fi and shit like that, but like I turn that part of my brain completely off. And
I'm a big history buff, but I enjoy it. I don't know.
More Iron Maiden for you.
Sure.
The 82, 86 where it's at, and then it gets weird.
Last but not least, rental car is so the rental car industry is so scarce right now in high tourist areas. What are people renting in their place?
Minivans.
Kind of close.
That's like that's what I was given a month ago.
No,
and
but you still that was
I
a rental
didn't hate
car.
it. Yeah.
No, rental car agency like Enterprise are
or,
so low.
or people were just
Scooters.
buying cars short term.
No, and no. What are they renting in their place?
Tractors.
No, but we're
Moving vans.
very close.
U-Hauls.
U-Hauls.
Yes!
People are renting U-Hauls.
Oh my God! Wasn't there a John Candy? Weren't
Planes,
they in
Trains, and
like the
Automobiles?
back of the van?
In
Oh,
Home
God.
Alone.
Oh, that was in Home Alone.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was Home Alone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
They
because
had, like,
well,
the
they're
polka band,
they're a
and
traveling band that's
Yes.
like it was the only thing big enough to carry the guys and the equipment.
Exactly.
So Catherine O'Hara rides in the back of a U-Haul.
Yes. There you go.
It's like
Reliving history.
Yeah,
Yeah, could you imagine?
and Catherine O'Hara in Schitt's Creek is completely insane. She's amazing in it.
Yeah.
So, in Jerel's honor, and partly mine, since I had two of them, we're going to do. That's all the news I had.
I grew up in an '88 Voyager minivan, man.
That
had
was
a
technically a DSM.
that had 3.0 Mitsubishi V6, man.
It did.
So
Single red cam.
We're going to do a condensed history of Mitsubishi Motors Not the entire Mitsubishi. We don't want to go through.
We don't market zero.
We don't market zero, dude. We're going to go through Mitsubishi Motors. And are we going to do the American ones, or are we just going to kind of do...
We can do both.
For what it's worth, touch on the Gran Turismo
the
highlights.
Started up in the 50s or 60s?
Yeah, versus the entire company had its origins in 1870.
Go back to the original...
The 1973 Mitsubishi PX33.
Ooh, I like
73
that.
or 37?
37.
That looks more 37, 73.
Sorry. Damn it.
Your dyslexia is acting up, man.
Slightly, yeah.
Dyslexics of the world, untie.
All right.
That's and it actually has like studded tires too, which is hilarious.
Oh yeah,
it's a cold man hell.
But for the most part, we'll just fast forward to the 70s because
that's where the good stuff happens.
That's where the good stuff is starting to come because you had all that other shit. So it looks like Chrysler
starts 100 years into the history of Mitsubishi. I had a 1986 Mitsubishi television growing up, so there's that.
I had a Mitsubishi TV.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people had Mitsubishi branded things that weren't. You still see the Fuso box trucks.
Oh, dude, in Asia, they're everywhere.
Uh-huh. Oh, I'm sure. And they probably have like even more varied sizes too.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's like the K car version and then like the...
Yeah, they have them in Europe too. They're all over. I mean...
It looks like 1971, Mitsubishi sold their U.S. U.S. automotive giant Chrysler a 15% share in the company. So Chrysler began selling the Galant in the U.S. as...
71?
A sexually immature horse. The Dodge... Colt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which would be perfected when it became the Colt Microsoft awful operating system. The Colt Vista.
I've never used a Vista. I don't think.
I didn't either. I skipped that.
7 was the same thing, but better.
Yeah, I literally went... I kept XP until 7.
I am still burping up that weird shit.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
I hope it doesn't taste the same on the way out.
If it does, you're hurting.
So we got the Colt as the Galant as the Colt, and then pushing MMS annual production to 250,000 vehicles in the 1970s. The Galant was sold as the Chrysler Sigma in Australia.
Yep.
Interesting. So then we get to the gas shortage, and then Chrysler began selling the Galant as the Dodge Challenger and the Plymouth Sapporo.
It would be really funny to roll up at a Cars and Coffee with a 1980 Dodge Challenger.
Go. And then have Hellcat emblems on it.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
I was
that,
thinking,
or also the
Demon.
Or,
you gotta go Demon.
Or also the concurrent Dodge Magnum of the day. That was the giant T-topped coupe.
Mm-hmm.
No,
what would be better?
The name recycling is unprecedented than what you have with the Dodge Mitsubishi collection from 20 to 50 years ago.
I think having a Plymouth Sapporo wrapped in a Sapporo beer can graphics would be...
I would rock that.
That would be cool.
Wait, if you wrap it in that, do you have to donk it?
They're pretty much tall boy cans,
it's not
right?
Skittles, right?
They're tall. So you have to donk it. Like,
yep.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I had a Donkey Kong joke going, but I can't remember how it goes.
It's gone.
Donk it Kong.
It's Gun or Kong. It's Gong.
Gong.
Yes.
The Kong show, where a monkey comes out and hits the...
Nice.
In the early 80s, Mitsubishi finally achieved annual production of 1 million cars, but by this time its ally was not so healthy. As part of this battle to avoid bankruptcy, Chrysler was forced to sell Australian manufacturing division to MMC that year, and the new Japanese owners renamed it Mitsubishi Motors Australia. But then you had the Tredia, Cordia, and Starion coupes.
Boom.
In 1982. And I will say, the flat bodies I hated when I first looked at them, but I don't hate them as much now. I prefer the wide body, but something about those first ones look so 80s and so cool.
Oh, especially interior.
Oh my God, yes, the velour and
Yeah.
the accordion shift boot, which I
And-
usually hate. But
And the stereos, AJ,
fitting.
the graphic equalizer
yes,
tacked onto all of
Fancy.
these.
yep, the start. Yeah, my dad bought the purple one I had.
Oh, really?
The 88 one. He bought that one brand new in December of 87 as an 88, and the sticker was $23,000 in 1988.
Jeez.
It's a lot of fucking money
It was, yeah.
for a car with no airbags.
Yeah.
My 90 Volvo would have been 23 grand then, new. By 97, that was a $6,000 car with one airbag,
But the
which I used.
Yeah.
So now in 21 years, I have to total another car with at least an airbag going off. So,
That's okay.
So when
Well,
I,
if you're going to total it, you total it like you mean it.
exactly. So this is also 2 for 2. So when I turn 60, watch the fuck out, world.
So
I
You
think
better get an excursion this time. You just bowl through them.
Wait a minute. Yeah, it's funny because the F-150 hit me, so
Oh,
it's
wow.
the little sister of it.
So I totaled my
Yeah,
Civic.
don't recommend it. Like my jaw still hurts.
I totaled my Civic at 20, and then I wrecked the S2K at 28. So that's 8
Oh,
years.
no.
Uh-oh. That means next year I better be really careful. But I don't own I've only wrecked silver Hondas. My Civic was silver, totaled, and the S2000 was silver. So as long as I don't own a silver Honda, should
You're
be okay.
good.
Yeah, it should be okay.
And now we got a
I
silver
got all
Toyota.
mine
Stay the
out
fuck
when
up
I
my
was
car.
young. I wrecked the Camry. I rear-ended somebody in the Camry. I got hit in the Acura. The Volvo, the transmission went. And then the Legend,
What was what year was the Legend?
90.
I still like the
Yeah, that'd
Dude,
be
it was a
that'd be the
great body
original
style.
version of it. Is that was that the first generation?
Yeah,
still?
it was first gen.
Well, the 89 was the first year of the Legend, wasn't it? Or
Yeah.
6.
86?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, but that was the flat square one though. The 90
was 90 the
were
first
smoother
was
one.
90 through 90 6 the rounder ones.
Man,
No. So mine was late 80s, early 90s. I think 88 was still the square one. 89 to maybe 90 to 91 actually was the smoother of that style.
You're right.
92 to 95
that got
was the
that really
pretty
Yeah,
one. The
those-
same one Ludacris owned.
Yeah, you're right, because 92, I remember 92 Legends when they're
Yeah,
so pretty.
Yeah.
dude, they were awesome.
And we need to bring back names, because like Legend, Integra.
I know.
Like, they sound so good. RDX. India,
Accent.
Alphanumeric.
What do you mean I got a Hyundai? Why does everybody laugh when talk about my tiny car from Korea?
I have a number. That's my car.
Alphanumeric names are so boring. Like,
It's awful.
it really is. Just bring back cool names. Like, they're
At least call the TSX T-Sex or something.
the Accord Euro R, which is what it
Yeah.
is.
You are.
I almost bought the
Yes.
front grille for my TSX with the Euro R, but like it was $500 and then to ship it from Japan. Like,
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
yeah, it's a lot for a fucking plastic grill.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Have
Yeah.
Eric 3D print you one. How
Yeah,
hard
for
could it
real.
be?
So you had the Tredia, Corvette, and Starion in the 80s.
Lancer should have been in there by then.
What's that?
The Lancer should have been around by then.
I think during that same
Evo,
time,
when was the Evo
in
one?
the mid 80s, Lancer was still a Dodge. That was the K car early turbo 2.2
This is
thing.
I think, all right, so I'm on the MMA America page, so
Oh, well,
that's
yeah.
why.
That makes sense.
Yep. So I think those are the only ones. They had the Pajero, but I think it was sold. The Pajero
Pajero
was the Montero.
Yeah, that was everywhere outside of here.
And I keep getting that
Awesome
mixed up with
cars, though.
Pendejo, and I get really funny looks on the bad side of town.
I was telling Steve before you got here too. The engine in the Starion, the 2.6, was in the Corja and the Montero. So people would take the two-door Monteros and then just transmission swap and then turbo swap.
Yes.
And then just have a car that was lighter because the two-door Monteros didn't weigh anything.
It's so funny to see that switcheroo with the Dodge Raiders then, and then the later Dodge Raider that was the rebadged Dodge Dakota.
Yes, it was. I had a buddy that
had the
a Raider.
front end off a Pontiac Vibe.
Yeah,
it did.
As did the last of the Eclipse.
But if you drive a Dodge Raider, you have to move from Oakland to L.A. and then back to Oakland and then to Vegas, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair.
What can I say? My last car choices were black and silver.
Yep. So we're moving on from when the DSM, which was in what part of Illinois?
Oof, I don't know.
Oh, come on! It's such a normal
Detroit?
name. Wink.
Wait
Normal,
a
Illinois.
minute.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Normal, Illinois. Yep.
So
DSM
technically, my
headquarters.
car is Japanese, not DSM. So
As is the story on.
yeah,
All of them were built in
they
Japan.
were all imported from Japan.
Versus
Correct.
the
Yes.
Eclipse explosion.
Which
Now
was
the
built in
Eclipse
normal.
was a DSM.
It was. I am indifferent on the first gen, the Laser Eclipse, and
They were
Talon.
ugly.
They
They were quick, but they were ugly.
Good news,
I
flip ups. Bad news, just they look like shoehorns.
Second, third gen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't like the interior of the first gen, but that
it was bad.
where it slanted. Everything was angled.
They still
downward.
did that with the second gen, but smoother.
It's a little but a second gen GSX is. Although the Talon is way fucking better looking.
I forgot
the
a
Talon.
car.
Oh, you did?
I had a 90. I did. Serious. I had a 1995 GST Spider purple.
Really? That's a pretty color purple.
I flew to Texas and drove the car back.
How did you forget about that?
I only had it for like a year.
Oh.
It was so I bought it on eBay and got ripped off. It was like a flood damaged car. And I didn't know better back then, so I just accepted it. I mean, it wasn't that expensive. And the transmission died like
a year in.
Like a couple thousand miles after I bought it, and then I sold it.
That's a pretty color. I love that color purple. I know exactly what it looks like too.
It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I wish it wasn't an auto. You know, it's one of those things like I would have done it a lot better if I'd have known better.
Hey, my maximum was a lemon. Steve bought a reduced car for.
Well, hey, that car wasn't a lemon. At least it ran. That gave me less trouble than the '98 GTI did for sure.
That's fair. No,
Yeah.
mine
You
was
don't buy German cars unless you like maintenance.
Yeah,
or
Can't argue with that one.
yeah, I was like that said. Both my Volkswagens were not German. It was like one came from Philly and the other one came from Mexico. And the one from Philly held up better if was leakier.
You
so.
boys like Mexico? Woo! There it is.
Haven't seen the second one.
It's okay.
That's all right.
That's
The
what I
first
thought.
one's the one that counts.
But the Talon, or all the DSM models came out in very, 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 very late '89, and then what replaced the Starion and the Conquest?
Should have been those.
No,
Oh, whoa.
it was.
Shadow?
You have one.
What?
The 3000 GT was the replacement. It wasn't a successor or anything like that. It wasn't like
Was it really?
the second generation or anything like that. But the Starion and Conquest ended in '89, and Mitsubishi wanted to replace it with another
1990.
flagship
Yeah.
sports car, and they replaced it with the Stealth 3000.
Do you know what the prototype was? HSR.
Better than HHR.
Have you seen it?
I haven't actually.
Nice PT
Look it
Cruiser
up.
said no one.
HSR?
Yep.
Was it under Mitsu or
Yeah, Mitsu.
Okay.
It actually looked like a proto supercar.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
You can kind of see the lines.
The lines are there, yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah, it's a cool ass looking car.
They managed to out Ford GT90, the Ford GT90.
Meet George Jetson drives a DSM. I like that.
Yeah.
They did get the lines, like it's exaggerated, but you can totally see You could totally see the
It's
line.
when concept cars were actually concepts and not like
Yeah, I
what
was
you
like,
get.
here's a thing.
Like,
they count-
here's the 400Z. Oh, it's the same.
That's the
Okay.
same thing.
Yeah.
I like it.
Cool.
Though. I know I'm in the minority here.
Or
I like
for what it's worth, like the
I like everything but the front. The fucking rectangle
Pokemon grill.
does not do
Throwback
anything
to the
for me.
240. Throwback to the 240.
The 240 look better. This is worse.
I know, but I can't afford a 240. The Resto mod one.
Dude, the 400 is fast though. Consider for a stock car.
It really is.
Yeah, that sells me.
Oh, yeah.
And you know the suspension's better than the 370s.
Oh, somebody's gonna make a front kit for that where it's just gonna be like, okay, that's how it should have came from the factory.
Yeah.
It's gonna be just a bunch of aluminum piping, so you just give it fangs.
Fair. One of my favorite concept cars was the Dodge Copperhead.
Yep.
I haven't seen that.
Yes, you have.
Is that a Viper?
It came
It
out-
looked like a tiny Viper.
It was so cool.
Okay, I'm missing this one.
I really liked the way that looked. It was so weird.
Oh, that's a damn the Plymouth.
It
The
wasn't.
V6 one.
No, not the Prowler.
No, Prowler?
No,
It
this-
looks like a Prowler
This
and
was
Viper
complete-
had a baby.
I know.
Fair enough.
The back end is a Prowler for
I
sure.
know, and I still like it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I really like
When did that come out?
That
Mid-90s?
9-foot wide ass.
That looks like
The-
a mid 90s
The
proto.
Prowler was
97.
what,
There you
late
go.
90s.
That was 97. I like that. But
Learn
yeah, you're
something.
right about
I know a lot about cars. I've never seen that.
This will be a car heavy episode, and that's okay.
And for what it's
It
worth,
is.
like, to not remember a concept car, I can't fault you for that. Like, yeah, I can't. I don't remember.
believe you didn't remember
I don't
that.
remember this thing that. I don't remember this thing that never existed in reality. Well, there's
But
a,
it
there's
did
a lot
at
of
some
those.
point in time. Yes.
It's just it's a flash in the pan. Like that one's cool. Like they had some really neat ideas, and that went nowhere quickly.
yeah.
I keep burping up that weird shit. I gotta go get a bottle of bourbon soon just to have something different.
Apparently, you need
You don't want
a
you don't want a
North
second
beer
helping?
I I liked it. I love that I got to enjoy. I'm love that I got to try it, but I don't think I want any more of it.
I understand.
I want you. I'm going to get me a bottle of bourbon because I need to wash this shit out. One of my favorite cars ever came out very early on in the 90s. The Galant VR4.
Oh,
Talk
Yeah.
about yourselves.
4-door, 4G turbo sex.
Yep.
And groceries.
Turbo sex. Turbo sex.
It's funny because at the same time,
Turbo lover?
what's up, Judas Priest?
Yes.
Which is funny because at the same time, you could get a Subaru Legacy turbo all-wheel drive before that was all the rage.
Correct.
But they sold 6 of them, and then many of Subaru's offerings remained pretty stale for the following decade.
And then the WRX was born.
Yeah, or at least the WRX was sold here.
Yes.
In Japan, much like the Evo, they had many more interesting offerings.
And much better.
Stateside, it's until like what 02 with the bug eyes. Like, cool, it's finally here, and
Yeah.
it
Wait a
looks
minute.
like
Why did my
that.
transmission break?
Why did my head gasket blow?
Yes.
Apparently,
They were
the
called
Jap-
glass transmissions for a reason.
The Japanese cars are
Is
geared
that
differently.
your Dickel you were talking about?
This is hand barrel.
Oh, you gotta let me
Is
try
that the
that.
15er?
Okay.
I want to taste.
Wait, is that the 15er?
We might have to.
No, it's not the 15.
I might have to rinse this out though. This stuff.
I think you fucking
is
have
sticky.
to. I think you have to do that.
All right, I'm gonna do that.
All right, you do
it's,
that.
one of the doors across the hall. It's the Fleming.
Yeah, if you open and you don't see a toilet, it's not the bathroom.
Unless you believe in yourself. What?
Or, what was it? I think it was comedian. Our one of our favorites. Slept in a twin bed. I wonder where my brother was.
Mitch Hedberg?
Mitch Hedberg. He's like, I live in a 3-bedroom house, but isn't it up to me how many bedrooms are in this house? This bedroom has an oven in it. I was like,
Caitlin found it very strange the night I fell asleep next to Punk when Punk was camping out in an upstairs bathroom. This is not a Mitch Hedberg bit. This is simply reality, and I've done some weird shit around her, and she still wants to marry me, so that's nice.
Absolutely. I am super excited to go to 5 weddings this year.
Good nath.
Yes. So I went to our buddy's wedding in March. It was the first gay wedding I've ever been to. So
That's one more than I've been to.
Jeremy and Matt. It's great. So then I get to go to yours and Kaylin's. I get to go to Sean and Corin's, Mac and Emily, and Toby and Mariah. And I get to be the best man in that one. So that's good. I've only been a best man at one other wedding, and we won't talk about that. We will not talk about that at all. So you said you're not a big fan of charcoal filtering.
No.
Okay, so
Definitely not.
George Dickel is charcoal filtered, but this is 51.5%, 103 proof in Tennessee. This one's a 9-year. It's really good.
I'm down. Go ahead.
And I want your honest opinion on it, and you can totally hurt my feelings if you want to.
I mean, I don't like Dickel products, but I have the Kirkland Dickel 7-year bourbon, and I use that for old fashions, and it does just fine.
Right.
Old fashions are good stuff. That's in popular rotation at my place.
This bottle was $50, I think. It's fucking great. It's one of my favorites.
Roast and stuff.
Like it?
It's actually really good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Mm-hmm. It's very, very good.
So the Kirkland one I have, straight, that's just like like it's all right, but you're like, and then this is actually, it smooths out.
It does.
It's very smooth.
Was it the plain Jane Kirkland, or is this specifically a George Dickel Kirkland product?
It's a Kirkland 7-year Tennessee bourbon, which technically isn't bourbon, but
yeah,
they call it bourbon.
Regional. Like for what it's worth, like there's a huge bourbon facility in Indiana, like doing a lot of good, like
bourbon. Yes.
Yeah, like well, for what it's worth, the Silver Bullet did some time in Indiana, so therefore, this is the bourbon car.
But I will say it was like $23 for a liter, so for a mixing whiskey, it's very acceptable.
So the
for
definition,
that, I go by Black Velvet Canadian.
I just had a whiskey Gallion burp.
Oh, goodness,
yeah, that's why I went with bourbon. The definition of bourbon is an American whiskey barrel-aged distilled liquor made from at least 51% corn.
Yep.
So it doesn't have to be from bourbon. Gray and I had this conversation at Saucer one night.
I could have sworn it had to be Kentucky.
It does not. It only has to be American and 51% corn to be classified a bourbon. It's like when people say champagne, it has to be from Champagne, France to be, and otherwise it's sparkling.
That one is accurate.
That one is accurate.
Yeah,
but this one is not.
Does that mean champagne is Conseco?
Mayhaps, but bourbon is the American spirit. So it is not the cigarette, but it's the.
I only vape those.
From what your like when people go Russia, you go vodka. You go Cuba or rum.
Yeah, it's a corn whiskey.
It is at least 51%. So it's a majority corn whiskey. Did I tell you about the time I was in? I know I told you, but when I went to Vegas the first time, so, I was at I made the final table at Caesar's Palace, and at a poker tournament. Let's not big it up. It was
all the bosses?
60-person tournament, and I made it to the last.
Even
9.
So, that's impressive.
So the guy beside me was from Switzerland, and I ordered a Godfather. You know what a Godfather is? Mm-hmm. He's like, "What's in that?" I was like, "It's amaretto and bourbon." He's like, "I'll have one of those too." And so he's like, "That's delicious, man. What's in that?" And I told him, and he's like, "Man, we only have like vodka and shitty rum in Switzerland." I was like, "Really? You don't have anything else?" He's like, "I mean, you get like whiskey and beer."
I'm surprised amaretto wouldn't be a thing. Like
I've been to Switzerland. I only drink beer or wine.
Yeah. So he said we get wine, we get vodka, beer. That's it. And next drink I got was a White Russian. He's like, "What's in that?" And I told him,
dude,
he's like, "Let me have one of those." And he's like, he told our waitress, he's like, hey, whatever he orders, I want one too. He got knocked out before me, but he shook my hand. He's like, thank you for turning me on to such good stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, do you live in Switzerland? He's like, yeah. I was like, so you're just in Vegas? He's like, yeah, I've never been.
Dude, Swiss people are rich. If you didn't know
Yeah.
that, I've been to Geneva. Like I've been to a couple cities there, and yeah, they're freaking loaded.
Oh my god!
But
have you ever,
alcohol sucks there. Like beer and
like-
wine is like, except for absinthe. I had a lot of absinthe in Germany, and it was
Goodness,
great.
I never got the hang of Jaeger, therefore I never got the hang of absinthe. Like the Green Fairy's a menace.
Oh, it's good.
I'm not a huge. I wouldn't turn it down, but I don't like seek out licorice flavored things.
Dude, like in Killarney, in our college house with Sean and Russell, we kept like a half gallon of like Jaeger, like a
Goodness.
freaking just in the freezer always.
Have you ever drank a dead Nazi?
No,
It's 50-50 Jaeger and Goldschlager.
I've had bad experience with Goldschlager.
You'll have a bad experience with that too. It's rough.
Goldschlager coming out is not as fun as going down. I'll
It's
tell
like,
you
hey,
that.
have you ever dipped your licorice in peppermint schnapps? That's exactly what it tastes. It's fucking rough.
Mix it with some tequila rose.
Grace still has my bottle of Mansinth, the
Manson?
Marilyn Manson
Yes.
absinthe, which it still tastes apart. Like I have to mix it with anything to be able to drink the fucking stuff.
Ugh.
Well,
It's
we
not
had-
good.
On St. Patrick's Day, we had something called the Irish Luchador. Wasn't it? It was.
That sounds
It was
right.
a 50. It was tequila and Bailey's.
I'm okay with
It
that.
actually wasn't. It was.
Well, you had good tequila with it.
I think
too,
old
so
Greg
it's
would approve of that
like
one.
Blee blee and blah blah. Like what?
As long as
Silver?
it's out of a
Yeah.
shoe.
The thing is, when you put Bailey's into anything, you kind of just taste Bailey's.
Yeah.
Even tequila's really assertive flavor. Like you just, it kind of tasted like Bailey's with like somebody.
it softens it.
You took a shot of Bailey's and somebody went tequila in your ear. And
Yeah,
you're
you're
like,
like,
oh, okay, there we go.
I feel like I'm gonna
Hey.
be Pee Wee Herman dancing on the bar.
Hello, Jambi.
Did you have a Pee Wee Herman doll? I did.
Yes, the talking one.
Yes,
Yes.
with the pull string.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not the only one.
Uh-huh.
Now that I think back, I'm like, holy hell, what was that?
Very strange.
No.
What was your
No,
string on the
it's
front?
bad.
That wasn't
No.
a Pee Wee Herman doll.
You were yanking something else.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was a John Waters doll.
no, that was a Pee Wee Herman doll after 1991.
Ew.
I've seen Pee Wee's Big Adventure a million times, and I've only seen Big Top Pee Wee like once or twice.
Those were all
Large
contained in my
words.
childhood.
We need to watch it. We need to get fucked
Big
up and
Adventure's
watch it.
still worth a watch.
We need to.
It-
You need
It's
shrooms for that one.
Delightfully amazing. Have you ever allegedly consumed such thing? Because they allegedly made
I
my
have.
dreams echo.
May or may not have.
Yeah, I think the statute of limitations is up on that.
If it's in a different country, it didn't count. So
I
I did take a trip. I did take multiple trips to the Netherlands.
It was a
but
different altitude.
That was all. That was also studying abroad, so I did nothing.
He was in the nether regions. I would like.
There
to
was
go.
a red light highlighting that though. So
Nice. we were gonna do.
What's up,
Toronto.
Roxanne?
We were gonna do Toronto. Emily and I were gonna do Toronto and Ireland last year, but we couldn't do
Yeah.
anything because all hell broke loose.
we were supposed to go to Hawaii. So yeah, we ended up not going anywhere.
Yep.
Good
So,
times.
We're going to Tampa in 12 days. And
I'm
I can't
excited for you.
I'm excited for me because I've never been. It's our test run for. What do you think about living here?
It's not a bad place to live, to be honest.
If I had to live in Florida, it'd probably be there because the brewery scene's really good. It's not near enough to Disney that I would care.
yeah,
Florida man doesn't.
Orlando's
really live in
getting
Tampa.
rough, to be honest.
Yeah, Florida man. Well, let's be honest.
Florida man is everywhere.
is everywhere.
Yeah,
Florida man
but
is in
particularly the Georgia-Bama border.
Yes.
Yeah. So our buddy who has the Supra, Brian, he's been
Yeah.
on the show a couple times. He's moving back home. He
Soon.
lives. He's from Bradenton,
Mm-hmm.
and he's moving back. They're moving back in July, and I'm gonna fucking cry because I got really close to him.
Others, if I recall correctly, other Stephen Nicks is from Bradenton.
Oh,
I told you about other self.
you did.
Yes, guy with my same name who went to UNC Charlotte, knows a lot of the same people I do, but he went to medical school. Therefore, I'm very proud of my other self.
Yes.
But I'll never say he's more handsome.
But if I ever if we move, I want to move somewhere that has a strong like craft beer scene, so places I can play and do that. So I was born here. I was raised here. I've lived here. I don't want to die here. I don't want to die here without like experiencing living somewhere else.
I'm fortunate. We did a ton of traveling.
You did.
Early on before the kids. So honestly, I've been all over the world. I've lived in Europe. I've lived in Asia. I still love North Carolina. Mm-hmm. Now, I may move towards Lake Wylie and may dip over the border, but honestly, there's not much difference.
They'll
between
be under
the
the
two.
border.
Yes. Is it south of the border?
You don't want to go to Fayetteville.
Yikes.
Or
I don't want
down
to go
95
to
that
Vietnam.
way. So no,
pass.
no.
Like
We might have our differences, but we ain't that different.
Correct.
As much as I love Vegas, like I don't think I could live there because there's just
God,
not.
no.
Well, if there were a bunch of craft beer, like if there were like the same craft beer scene, like, but the
There's
thing is,
not,
like,
though.
it's not there.
And it's super expensive.
It is. I thought about Phoenix.
Phoenix is not bad. I actually like Phoenix.
I like West because I could watch a Monday night football game and actually watch the whole thing and not pass
Actually,
out at halftime.
I love Dallas. Like Dallas-Fort Worth area is really nice too. It's Texas,
But
Everything's
Cowboy
bigger.
fans.
That's what's keeping me away from Texas. If I went to Texas, it'd be
Denver.
Austin.
Ugh. Austin's not as good as it used to be. Put it that way.
I've heard that too, but I feel like Phoenix would be. I wouldn't get cold weather. I would get authentic Mexican cuisine, which I fucking love.
Same here.
And I know it's hot, but it's not humid hot, so I could probably deal with it.
It's dry hot, but it is very
An
hot.
oven is also a dry
Yeah.
hot too.
Yes.
I love San Diego, but I just can't afford it.
Nope. My manager lives there.
I would love it. If I would absolutely love it. Like
Yeah, he brags about how it's like 70, 80 degrees
all the time.
every single
And no
day.
humidity.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
You could wear flip-flops, like a tank top and shorts. Or you could wear long sleeves and pants, and you'd still be comfortable.
Yeah.
It's so...
It's amazing. And it's beautiful.
So, and
Yeah.
the airport, if you ever want to fly out, the San Diego airport is dead because anybody who flies to the West Coast usually goes through LAX.
Yeah.
So the San Diego airport has two runways, or one. I think they have one runway.
Goodness.
It's so small,
Yeah.
and like Charlotte Douglas Airport is actually the 7th busiest airport in the world.
Yeah. I think Atlanta is
Number one.
the number one.
Yeah,
right?
Atlanta's number
Hartsfield.
one.
Yeah. Hartfield,
But
Jackson.
Charlotte
like that.
Douglas is
Atlanta.
busiest in freight.
Just call it the Atlanta airport.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or hell, either one.
Yeah, Charlotte Douglas is they do mostly freight stuff. Like so,
Yeah.
they are. But
Yeah, it's a
passenger wise,
massive hub.
Atlanta's number one.
Yep.
I think the nicest O'Hare was actually huge when we went to Chicago. Like O'Hare's
I hate it. Like
gigantic.
we go through there often to go to Taiwan,
Oh yeah,
and like they make you change terminals where you have to go through the underground like pass. So they give you like a 50-minute transfer, and we have to like haul ass with the kids. It's awful.
I would say Vegas Airport's actually not that bad. I just don't like going up and down the
Vegas is
stairs.
really nice.
Yeah, it
actually.
was
I
kind
enjoy
of
the
weird, like
airport.
with the tunnels and stuff to get in and out of things.
You can get in and out pretty fast. Like I will say, if you do not Spirit, the other cheap one,
Frontier.
Allegiance.
Frontier. So
Okay.
I've done
I flew
Frontier.
Frontier last 2 times I flew back in 19 was Frontier in and out of Vegas in July, and then in August to and fro Providence, Rhode Island.
If you do like back home to Charlotte from Vegas, if you do Frontier home, it's always easy because it's on the international side.
Oh wow.
So when you go over there, like I got like out of my Uber from the hotel in there and like checked in, and it was like 8 minutes. and I was
Wow.
inside the airport because Frontier's on the international side at what's the name of the airport in Vegas? Fucking
I can't remember.
The Vegas airport. Like they don't have names. No, it's
You
a
know, it was
city
awful.
and an
Last
airport.
time I flew in
If
there,
you're in New
they
York, you're in
wouldn't allow,
trouble.
Like
It's like
Uber and stuff. You had to take a taxi.
oh hell
McCarran.
no.
McCarran. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't care who died naming this airport. No, it's the fucking Vegas airport. The only time this matters is when you have two of them. It's like New York has a couple. It's like, all right, well, pick one.
Have you all flown into Newark?
Newark, yes.
Worst
That
fucking airport in the world.
I didn't
that was
like
my
it.
two-fro from Boston back March of 01.
Before I figured out that they have like you got to go like downstairs and ride a bus to the next terminal, I like exited the terminal and had to like rush back in. It was awful.
We flew.
Are you supposed to be here, sir? It's like,
I'm like,
This is my-
I'm just trying to connect.
I'm American citizen.
Yes.
We flew back from D.C. like to see her grandmother for her 90th
I
birthday.
like Dulles. That's not a bad airport.
Oh, Dulles was great. I flew. Like, my layover was in
Could they
Dulles
have
the
given
last
it a
time.
stupider name? Dulles.
Could be Brightest. We had
That still doesn't sound
to
good.
go from D.C. We went from Baltimore to a 3-hour layover in Newark, and then back to Charlotte from her grandmother's 90th birthday when that grandmother was alive. And I was like, yeah, this airport fucking sucks.
It's the worst.
I think the nicest Charlotte Douglas is actually a really nice
CLT
airport.
is awesome.
It's a really good airport.
It really
the
is.
worst one I've
It's
been
just
in.
if you go to Frontier though, like you're walking a long fucking time, brother.
Fair.
Yeah.
But I think the worst airport I have been in, not cleanliness, but like just run down and it needs to be updated, was San Juan in Puerto Rico.
Oh, really?
Was really
surprised
fucking
me.
bad.
Philly was actually like that.
Really?
It's kind of a shithole.
And the thing is, like, it was you knew that it was clean. It was just old, really old, and the people were nice. Everything it went smoothly. It just you looked around, you're like, huh. This shit looks like gifts that were given away on The Price is Right in the 70s. Like,
Yeah.
it's bad. But
Are you
You've been
guys
to San
painting
Juan,
here?
right?
No, I've never been to Puerto Rico.
Are you guys painting
so
here?
much fun.
Because watch out for the asbestos. Thanks.
Yes.
it was so much fun. Like it's a lot of fun. The food is cheap.
Yeah.
We didn't stay on a resort. We had this conversation Monday, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was so much fun. So if you ever had a Mallorca, it was a ham and cheese sandwich with powdered sugar on top, and it was like they kind of like flash fried the sandwich, and then they put powdered
Yes.
sugar on top of it with the ham and cheese.
Wait,
It's
this
so
is what I was
fucking
calling like the makeshift Monte Cristo, right?
It's a Monte Cuban Cristo. Like it's so
Yes to all.
It's so fucking good, man.
Be still my heart
Like,
because
and they have like
that'll be achieved.
they have the old Puerto Rican and Cuban guys on the street corner like hand rolling cigars.
Yes.
And there's and the cigarette like $1 each. I was like, give me fucking 6. It was they're so good. Like it's and everybody there's cops on almost every other corner just patrolling. You always feel safe. I love Puerto Rico. We were down there for our honeymoon, and there was a guy surfing.
Asking the cops like, "What is anything illegal here?" This feels a little too loose. What's up?
There was a white guy surfing, and like Emily and I were on the beach, and we were just struck up a conversation because that's what I do.
¿Qué pasa, gringo?
It's like, you're white, I'm white.
Exactly.
What's up?
I was like, hey, you on vacation? I said, no, man, I live here. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I was like, how long have you lived here? He's like, I'm 20 years. I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like,
yeah.
how did you live there? He's like, well, I came down here on vacation. I never left. Like, so now I'm a surfing instructor in San Juan. I was
Yes.
like, boy, what a hard fucking life that guy had.
Right?
Oh, except for a couple years ago.
He was like,
Hey, best ways of
That's-
his life.
that blows.
Mm.
He was like Matthew McConaughey's kid.
He became a bounty hunter.
Yeah, everything's cool, man. It's
Yeah.
all good. Like I
Did,
was
he,
like, that guy's living
did he
his...
sell you a Buick?
No, but I'm sure he would have had something to sell me illicitly if I would have really wanted to be
Yes.
locked up in a Puerto Rican jail.
Step it back as an Oldsmobile. Same diff.
Mm.
So after we got Galant VR4, we went way off topic. Jesus.
Where were we?
Galant VR4.
Yeah, and the discussion of the concurrent
I still want to get
Legacy
one of those,
Turbo back in the
but they
day.
are super pricey now and very hard to find.
They used to be pretty cheap. You could get a good one for $6,000.
You can get a decent one for $4,000, but you're hard pressed to find one for $8,000 now.
Yeah, and
That's a tenner.
If I had more, like, once I move to the next house and I have like a 3-car garage and then like a workshop and
what
like
you
all this
need-
room for fun,
What you need is an
I would
expansion.
consider. Right now, the VR4 takes up the VR4 tools and parts is my entire garage.
What you need is an expansion on AJ's previous house theme that was the garage with the house attached.
that would
Basically.
be nice.
The
Yeah.
10-car garage with dwelling somehow attached to it.
That was an idea. That wasn't in theory. That was
Yeah.
a theory. That wasn't in practice.
Hey,
There's a floor plan for this. Yeah.
I can draw. It ain't gonna be good, but I can draw.
I didn't mind actually the mid-90s Galants. I thought
Yeah,
like,
no,
those are
after the
cars.
VR4.
Have you never seen the like late 90 like 97, 96 Galant VR4?
Not with
Look
the
it
updated.
up. Look it up.
Not with the updated body.
That
style.
had a 2.5 liter V6. It's basically maybe a D-stroked 6G.
Yeah.
Dude, they're so hot.
Oh, that's
I saw one in Hong Kong when I was in like downtown Hong Kong. I saw a Galant VR4 and it was amazing.
ooh.
There were two.
Oh, there's the wagon.
They were yeah. They have.
Oh,
wagons.
there's the wagon.
Yeah.
I want the wagon. That is when you get back, Steve.
That
that's
was
so
Asia
cool.
only though, unfortunately.
Oh my god, that's gonna sell a lot here. Like,
Yeah.
well, I was looking at R33 GTSTs, the rear wheel drive.
Yeah.
I just couldn't decide what I wanted, like toy wise, because I know what I like, but like
I would only get an R34. I never liked
I would
the 32
always-
or 33.
I love the 33. I like the 33 as much as the R34.
I just
It's the clean. I like clean.
it
lines.
is, but I enjoyed the boxiness. I mean, if I want smoother, the VR4 is my choice, obviously.
Yeah. I would always, if I got the GTST in the back of my mind, I would go. You didn't get a 33. You didn't get an R33.
Yes.
It would be in the back of my mind. But I almost got the Celica, the GT4.
GT4.
I almost got one of those right-hand drive
With pop-ups or the projection?
projector, like the
Yes.
goggle eyes. But I just couldn't.
It's like a secret indulgence or something. I would definitely rock that.
It was from Japanese Classics LLCs, up in Richmond. But the thing is, my toy, like I still had the Cherokee, and the Cherokee ran good, but
It was getting up there.
it's a 97 with 359,000 miles. Like,
A domestic with 300,000 miles. Yeah.
So I didn't know how much time I had left with it. So
Yeah, you probably made a good choice.
Steve,
on
the
that one.
Galant VR4 wagon, that is hot.
Gimme.
That is hot.
Dude, they were pretty.
With that
Yes.
gunmetal gray.
Yes.
That
Yeah, it
gunmetal-
was called the Legnum, I think.
I like
yeah,
that color.
sounds right. That sounds very
Those were
GT1-ish.
phenomenal.
That's
a
the
great color.
concurrent Diamante wagon.
I like the Diamante.
Diamante's fine. Dude, all their styling was fine. It was just they weren't advertised properly.
Yeah, after
I mean, if you think about equivalents, like they had good power, they had decent accessories, good interior. They were good cars.
I don't know what happened. Yes, I do.
Well, now you have an Eclipse Cross, so
Woof.
yeah.
It will not make you want to jump.
No, off
No,
a cliff.
it's-
Off a bridge.
not
Off a
that.
cliff.
Yes.
Off a cliff.
Congratulations, Mitsubishi. You made a better Aztec.
So my
You know what? That's double shots of Galleon.
no, I'm sticking with Dickle Picks.
I got shit to do tomorrow.
He's got to work at.
I'll see y'all Friday.
I don't have to work until 8 a.m. tomorrow instead of 6.
Oh,
I don't have to work till 8 in the morning
At home.
at home.
So
Yes.
So well, I would say 98. So you still had Diamante, Galant, and Eclipse. And VR4. Montero. Which I still think the Montero Sport's a good-looking SUV.
They are phenomenal,
Yeah,
dude.
that
You put a
was a
lift
cool
kit
rig.
on the Montero Sport, they're excellent. They're great for off-road, too. Because those had the 3.5 in them.
We were talking before you got here. It's like, we see the Sports all the time. When was the last time you actually saw like a regular Montero?
True. Yeah.
The Sports is just way outsold.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the Celica GT4 I was looking at before.
I know what they look like.
But it was...
Especially if you have the livery.
It was the WRC one.
Oh,
They wanted 18.5 for it.
that's not
And I was thinking about it.
And then in later Mitsubishi Sport Ute, Compact Ute, the Outlander Sport looks so much better than Outlander.
Yeah. You know, I will brag a little bit. So when I got my VR4, I did not want black. That was not the color I wanted at all. I love the pearl white. There's a beautiful olive pearl. That
was what you were showing us Monday.
The B34 blue is amazing, but I only paid $9,400 for my VR4 with 80,000 miles in 2010. So
that would be what, double now?
Yeah, dude,
the pricing scheme is
up.
bonkers McTavish.
Yeah.
Remember
I
that?
couldn't sell my car. I wouldn't. It's just I've put way too much time. Yeah, they're perfect.
They are.
Dude, if they were prevalent here, I'd probably own one.
That was what was worrying me because like parts of it, there's not a lot of parts on this. You don't see that many Celicas of that generation around here anyway.
Yeah.
Much less ones that every major component of
for shits
the
and giggles,
drivetrain.
like the
Yeah.
concurrent...
It sold for $16,995.
It's kind of like a 3000 GT VR4.
Yeah, it really is.
With,
A lot smaller.
With German
A lot
front-wheel
lighter.
drive transmissions.
Yeah, and a lot lighter.
The concurrent convertible of that, I wouldn't kick out of my imaginary garage.
And you're not a convertible guy.
No, I probably would.
I'm sunburnable.
I did get sunburnt real hard in the GST Spider.
That-
Because we drove it from Dallas-Fort Worth all the way down Highway 10 to Florida.
65, yeah, it would be
We went to Florida
10
and
to
then
65 to
straight
85.
up to Charlotte.
Goodness.
It was a great trip. But
So in 2000, my dad, and he still owns it, brand new Patriot Pearl Red Eclipse GT.
really?
He still owns it. He's the original owner. He bought it in 2000.
Yeah.
A 2000 Eclipse GT with a shitty 4-speed automatic with the manual shift.
Oof.
But great
Hey, 2
sound.
second shifts.
But a great the engine.
Wait a minute. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Wait,
All right, we'll shift.
Is it
Yeah.
2000 or 2010?
2000. The original.
yeah.
I remember driving a few of those when I valeted at the Greensboro Airport, and when they were new with a stick, was a lot of fun.
That was the same 6G as the NA 3000s.
Yeah.
It was still, was it 200 or 220?
It was 205 horse
It was
and
a little
210 torque.
detuned then.
But it was
Yeah.
torquey, 210 torque. But it sounded really good. Like it was a throaty because they put a good
Yeah.
muffler. Like it sounded good. The thing is, if you got the sunroof, like my hair scraped the top of it. Like it was just
Okay, my VR4 has an electronic sunroof which drops it another inch. So if I, like when I hit road course or autocross with a helmet, I'm sitting,
You're
I have
hosed.
an NA cloth seat that's worn out, so I sit as low as possible.
right.
And my head is like this the whole time.
Ah.
It's awful. I didn't know that until after I started
The perks of
racing
being
it.
4'22".
Yes.
But it got a lot when that came out in 2000, and he bought. We got a lot of looks when we were driving.
Oh,
around.
for sure.
'Cause
Yeah, the striking car.
It was a very striking car. You never see those now. They got beat to
Yeah.
fuck.
You also didn't
when they
see
came
them
out.
then.
His only has 130,000 miles.
Wow.
It's 21 years
That
old.
time.
They made
yeah.
supercharger kits for it too.
Yeah,
Pardon?
but he was a Mopar. Like he had the Dodge Dart Swingers, the
Yeah.
Cudas, the Challengers, and he still stuck with
Chrysler.
with a Chrysler products. Like,
Yeah.
Until very Chrysler adjacent by that one.
It's extremely, yeah. But he has a Dodge Ram pickup, but he still has that. But he never sell. I mean, it's still the paint is showing its age, but I mean the rest of the car
Speaking
actually
of,
held up.
I saw a blue and gray vibe today that
It
the paint looked. It aged about
Tired.
the same way my previous one would have. There's like, lots of
Bubbles.
not bubbles, just the fading to gray, and then like the boundary of where the clear coat faded, like gray streaks, and then like bare blue. It was funny seeing like that's not the same car. It's not a GT because that also probably lives somewhere in Georgia now. A year later, I don't know what happened to it.
in
I
pieces.
wish that probably
We'll call it Garth Brooks. It's in pieces.
Yeah, it was a good car. Just to not just register in South Carolina was becoming too big a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Or also the incessant airbag recall that no local GM dealer could bother to get back to me on.
It's awful.
So Kalen would refuse to ride in it because it was a passenger airbag that was under recall.
She didn't want shrapnel to the face?
No, I think her.
There's a subreddit for that.
No,
sure there is.
my future wife's lack of shrapnel face is among her many
It's an attribute.
positive attributes.
I'll put it that way.
Yes.
Well, are you coming to dinner with us?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Have we decided on Mexican or wings?
Do you feel like wings or Mexican or pizza?
Well,
'Cause
the
they all-
wings
they-
and-
they-
wings and pizza is the
I'm
same
allergic
place.
to dairy, so I would lean towards the wings.
Okay.
I think that just solidified it.
All right. What's up, Hawthorne? See you in a moment.
Well, this is we did 2 hours.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it
it's, goes
It's like a time warp.
It's currently 8:20. Yeah, it's like Look, it's
It is dark. I'll put it that way.
Well, there's a curtain over this window. But
It's still dark, though.
It's gray out.
yeah.
Wow.
Gerald, thanks for coming out and hanging out with
Appreciate
us.
the invite.
been a
It's
blast,
always
man.
open, and it goes by quickly. That's why every episode usually goes really long. So 87's in the books. Time to eat. He's Gerald and he's Steve.
What?
Yes.
Hello.
And he's still Applejacks.
I hope so. Or I'm wearing the wrong underwear.
Oh, snap.
And we'll see you in 88. And I don't want to wait 2 weeks
If
to do
any.
it. Well,
Yeah, I
2
don't
weeks,
want to miss a thing.
2 weeks from now,
Still don't like that song.
me either. 2 weeks I'll be in Florida, so I would rather do an episode before I leave. So
We'll
maybe we can do a
figure
weekend.
something out.
We'll do a weekend episode. All right, we're done. Wing time. Bye bye.
Peace.
Doodles. Doodles.